Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And again, another holiday has rolled around and another tragedy is in the news to preoccupy the mind. So, I'm going to show you exactly why this story is being reported on today and exactly why Pennsylvania, which is my state, was chosen for this ritual. And yes, this is a ritual. We're going to go through this piece by piece. As the thumbnail says, what's the big deal with 33? So the story is former Penn State wide receiver Julian Fleming was on an ATV with his girlfriend, Alyssa Boyd. They struck a deer, killing Boyd and seriously injuring Fleming. Now, Julian Fleming was a phenomenal high school football player. He was a 5-star recruit, which usually means, if you're not familiar with American football or high school football, pretty much means you're guaranteed to at least be a college football star, if not an NFL star. Things never really panned out for Fleming when he committed to Ohio State, ended up transferring back to Pennsylvania at Penn State, and then he ends up going undrafted in this year's draft. And it's entirely possible that his entire football career has just ended. Perhaps he got a different script when he reached the college level. But again, all of these things are perfectly, I have no doubt this was a perfectly planned ritual. And don't be the idiot that comes here and goes, don't disrespect the dead. You need a medical doctor. Please, just stop. Just stop. Okay? Don't be that person. Again, learn gematria, learn numerology, learn who's conducting these rituals. People always want to come here and they want to crucify the person that's exposing it. And I have a theory on that. I think it's much easier to fight good than it is to fight evil. So, this is from the New York Post. A Penn State and Ohio State wide receiver seriously injured and his girlfriend was killed. A horrifying ATV crash in rural Pennsylvania. This supposedly happened in Bradford County, which is right up near the New York state line in northeast Pennsylvania. Rural ATV crash in rural Pennsylvania, the authorities said. See, that's the problem. If it doesn't come from the authorities, people don't believe it. To quote Vladimir Lenin, who invented the Soviet state in 1917, misinformation is anything the Soviet Communist Party disagrees with. And that's a big part of the indoctrination on campuses like Penn State and Alabama, where his girlfriend was from, and Ohio State. It's the indoctrination into the belief in authority, right? There's a reason why the former daily communist newspaper of the Soviet Union was called Pravda. Pravda is a Russian word that means truth. If you didn't hear it from the media, it isn't true. That, by the way, was a quote of what's the woman's name? I know there's Aussies that watch this channel. Who was the prime minister of your neighbor, New Zealand, during 2020? She said that fucking scumbag said in light of COVID during 2020, if you don't hear it from the government, then it isn't true. The very fact that she was not assassinated for saying that is absolutely sickening. That these scumbags, the filth of this planet, are allowed to say that in 2020 and get away with it. And that woman, by the way, I'm pretty sure is now teaching at Harvard. So she's in the right place. Anyway, if you're new here, 33 is a huge number with the Jesuits who conduct these rituals, who rig your sports games. 33 is a huge number with them. The gematria is the ancient practice of coding letters into numbers. This cipher, the dark blue cipher, is known as Pythagorean gematria, where you break every letter down to a single digit. So words like federal, order, masonry, secrecy, order, police, Alyssa Boyd, they all sum to 33. Think of the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C., the land of 33, with 33 columns that are each 33 feet tall. 33, the highest number on the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Anyway, it goes on to say Julian Fleming, 24, was driving the Yamaha quad with Alyssa Boyd, 23, down a rural road in Pennsylvania's Bradford County along the New York state line when they struck a deer that darted in front of them, according to Pennsylvania State Police. According to the police, emphasis on 33. Boyd, who attended the University of Alabama, according to our social media, suffered extensive injuries in the crash and died at the scene, according to cops. I'm supposed to believe the police? I'm supposed to just believe whatever comes from the authorities? I don't think so. People got to learn to think for themselves. Stop letting the authority think for you. So, Penn State, on January 9th, they lose to Notre Dame, right? The Catholic school. They lose to Notre Dame on January 9th by a score of 27-24. Notice how from January 9th to May 25th is exactly 137 days. 137, of course, is the 33rd prime number, like Penn State is 33, just adding to the list. And lo and behold, guess what today is? It's the day of the Big 33 Football Classic. For the people that aren't familiar with this, I'll just read the Wikipedia clipping here. And I know Wikipedia, I know. But this is accurate because I've been to this game before. I understand. It's a big deal, okay? The Big 33 Football Classic is an all-star football game featuring top high school football players in Pennsylvania and Maryland. They now play Maryland. Played in 1958, the game is often described as the Super Bowl of high school football. Contests current players in Pennsylvania against players from Maryland, but opponents in the past have also included Ohio and Texas. It used to also be Pennsylvania East versus Pennsylvania West. Now the Pennsylvania East-West All-Star games are two separate games played the week before. But while most games were held at Hershey Park Stadium in Hershey, Pennsylvania, the game is now at Cumberland Valley High School in Mechanicsburg. There has never been a Super Bowl without a Big 33 alumnus. So it's a big deal. So what are the odds out of the state of Pennsylvania we get a story of a former Penn State football player and his girlfriend, whose name also sums to 33, dies 137 days after Penn State loses in its bowl game with 24 points, like how Julian Fleming's 24 years old, on the day of the Big 33 game. Again, people really have to pull their head out of their ass and realize, what are the odds of this? Again, I have how many videos on this channel? Just go back and see. You know, if you think it's all a coincidence, well, you know, you need to find a way to improve your critical thinking and common sense. Now, in light of the World Hockey Championships, I wanted to briefly touch on this, the IIHF final. I have one general rule of thumb. It's the United States versus Switzerland, and that is never trust the United States in these international tournaments. What I will say about this, the final is being played in Sweden at this arena, Axivi Arena. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. But that arena does sum to 92. The United States has not won a gold medal in this tournament in 92 years. Is that a sign? It's a possibility. I do know, what's interesting is I do know the arena is home to the Swedish men's national team, AIK Hockey in Diergarden. I know this is pronounced Diergarden. I played the old EA Sports NHL games on the PlayStation 2. I know all about that. It is interesting that Diergarden, their full name does sum to 157, just like United States. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know, man. Is that a sign the USA finally gets it done in one of these international tournaments? Maybe. But yeah. R.I.P. to Alyssa Boyd, and I really hope everything turns out well with Julian Fleming. I don't want to see anything. We already seen one unnecessary obituary getting written. We don't need two. And by the way, don't be the guy that leaves the comment, don't disrespect the dead or show some respect. If that's you, then you're going to expose yourself for not watching this far into the video. These people are sick. The people who leave those comments and the scum that creates, that scripts these friggin' events. Yes, you can hit a deer on a quad. I know that. My point being, I guarantee you that's not the story. I guarantee this girl was murdered. You know, hopefully we're not reading about Julian Fleming's obituary. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Till next time.